Welcome to Filter Free. I'm your host, TL. So life is a never-ending loop. As in all journeys, we are supposed to learn and grow. However, when it comes to men and women, we constantly miss the mark. There have been movies, books, seminars, and even podcasts that have attempted to tackle the divide between the sexes. As 2020 quickly comes to an end, we decided to.
Huh? Just real quick, just 2020 coming to an end. It struck me a certain way. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Whew, come on.
Forgive me.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm sorry. But as 2020 comes to an end, we decided to up the ante with this show and not assume that we are or our perspectives are always right. So we decided to go out with a bang. So today, the men of Filter Free, James, aka Mr. James,
Peace and
Beacon,
blessings.
Wah, and Bluetooth decided to invite the most formidable force known to man on the planet.
Hello.
The black woman.
Backbone.
Backbone. Woman. Can we clap it up for the black woman one time?
Amen.
Yes.
Backbone.
Happy to see y'all. We love it.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're not focused on feelings.
Come on.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are not focused on feelings, but we are focused on life as we try to answer the question, is he worth your crown? So joining our cast today, we have Miss Ari on Muvas Podcast.
Hey, y'all.
Stephens of the Yes Show.
Mm-hmm.
We have Tay of Tayzway.
Hey.
These three women did not come to play, but in the immortal words of Beyonce, they came to slay.
Hey.
So, fellas, are you ready
words.
for what we are getting ourselves into today?
I ain't ready.
So, real quick, gentlemen, let's make this real quick. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Straight.
We good.
Blessed and
Super
highly
straight.
favored. Blessed.
Incredibly
I don't want to
straight.
focus on y'all today, so let's go ahead and get to all the important people. So let's start with Miss Ari of the On Muvas Podcast. Please tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Mama.
Hey, y'all. I am Ari. I am the co-host of On Muvas Podcast. I am a mother of two. That's why I get to tell you all about motherhood. And I'm kind of dope. So, yeah, follow me on social media and figure out how dope I am. Yeah, do that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It ain't just the braids, y'all. It's all dope.
Not just the braids.
It's everything, okay?
It's
the
the
braids
whole
plus
thing.
more. It's a whole package.
Come on.
Come on.
Next, we have Miss Tay Dockery, aka Tay's Ways. How you doing, Miss Tay?
Hey, y'all. Hey, first of all, thank you to all the cast of the Filter Free Show for having me. I am Tay. I've been in the military for 18 years. I'm a single mom. I strongly believe and stress the importance of mental health, especially in our community. Check me out on social media. All my handles are Tayzway with a Z. And that's all I got. I'm just excited. I have some amazing women on the team, some amazing men. I'm ready to get it popping over
there. Okay.
Like the energy.
And
Let's do
last
it.
but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss LaCora Stephens of the Yes Show.
I appreciate your 18 years of service. Your 18 years, I appreciate it.
Brother James,
yes.
Let me reclaim my time. Thank you. Because I too, Tay, was going to say thank you so much for your service. It is not just on November 11th that we salute you and thank you for your service, but it is every day. Thank you so much for everything you've done to serve us. We honor you, and it's a privilege to have you among us. So thank you, Tay. As well as our other queen, Ariel. I salute you, queen, for being a mother, a Black queen. Thank you for being here. And for our Black men, I love my brothers. So thank you for having me on this platform. I am LaCora Stephens. I am a host. I am an executive producer. Yes Show, as well as Relationship Deep Dive, and Black Men Talk. So I am honored to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm ready to talk, y'all. So let's go.
I appreciate it.
I like them hoops, LaCora. I like them hoops, baby.
Come on. They came with it today.
Okay.
So
they came with it today.
To piggyback for just a second off of LaCora reclaiming her time from James, I do want to acknowledge all of our veterans who have served, because we are recording this a few days after Veterans Day. So I want to acknowledge all of our veterans currently on the show. Brandon, Joaquin, we have already acknowledged you, Tay, and myself. Hallelujah, holla back. So let's get right into it. So dating is fun. It can be very nerve-wracking. It can be very painful. As you learn and as we progress, growing pains are real. And if you don't feel them, you're stagnant and then there's a problem. But when it comes to understanding just basic conversation of what we want, that should be easy. However, here we are today, because clearly it ain't. So if we're going to tackle the 4 H's and trying to figure out if he's worthy of your crown, what are the H's? So the first H, he's hungry. The second H, he's horny. The third H, he's homeless. And the fourth H is the H that most women in relationships are seeking and searching for. They're looking for that husband. But if you're dealing with a whole bunch of clowns in them first 3, you might not make it to number 4. So let's start with hungry. How many of us men have simply been taken advantage of by these queens because they want a meal?
Oh,
is that what we doing? Is that all men are worth? Just a meal? Not because you're interested? But men, how guilty are we for falling for the trap of just because you want something a little deeper, a little further down the road, you willing to play your position and start buying meals, whether you get what you want or not. So my question to all of you is, are you really that hungry? Are you really that hungry? LaCora, I see you shaking your head. Let's go ahead and get it with you.
Well, Brother Trey, it was so much in that question because you mentioned 2 things, queens using men to get food. Is she really a queen if she's using you to get food? That part. Number 2, men, if you're willing for the trade-off to say, well, I kind of want what's in between them thighs right there, so let me go on and give her some food. It's like, aren't you both kind of playing, into it? Number 3, if a man is hungry and that is all he wants from me, no mas. He is not worth my time. He is not worth this crown. And I hope, like, who is really that hungry? Women and men, who is really that hungry to waste your time for a meal? That I don't understand.
Well, I think their point is if they got food, they didn't waste their time. I think that's what they're thinking.
It might have
not
been
a waste if I ate some food.
Yeah, see, and I just don't think it's that deep. I will never give my time to a brother that I'm not interested in, because just because I get a $25, $35, $55, we're going to Morton's, $150 meal. It's like, okay, do I really need to sit through his arrogance or his ignorance or whatever it is for that, when I could have been happy for a $5 bowl at El Pollo Loco?
Come on.
I just think the priorities, I'm not going to waste my time for a brother that I'm not interested in. Now, if I'm unsure of it, if I'm unsure of him and I could be interested or not, I may spend that time. I may.
But in that case, it ain't for the food still.
Then it's not for the food still. Right. Exactly. It isn't. So that's not part of my world. I don't know women who do that. Like my friends, we don't do that. I don't do that. So, yeah.
But there is a lot of women who do.
I think that's an age thing as well. I think that's an age thing. I think in folks 20s and 30s, like I think it changes. You waste a little more time when you're a little younger and you're searching and you're kind of, let me just see what's over there. So I think that's a generational thing as well. But as for folks who are upper 30s and 40s, like,
hold up, brother. Now, James, here we go again. Now, what you trying to say about old Cora? You think that Cora ain't in her young 30s?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to assume you look 21.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here. I'm gonna go ahead and I think what he's trying to say is you seem to be an exceptional woman. That's what James is trying to say.
And an exception to all negative rules. Amen.
Exactly.
Hey, Tay, you look like you double dutch ready, as Susan would say. So how about you just go ahead and hop on in here, because you look like you got something to say. So what's on your mind?
So I'm gonna try to bring my brain in, because the way it works, I'm zapping a bunch of things at one time. So we're specifically speaking to, I just want you to get me a meal, whether it's buying me a dinner or making me dinner. That's all we're speaking to, right?
At this moment, it's simply focused on just the meal. That women date just to be fed.
Okay.
I can't relate.
Well, Tay, if you still gotta get it together, Tay, I might got a thought on it.
Yeah, go ahead, Ari. I'm gonna go ahead and alley-oop that to Ari.
You might gotta think on it, Tay, but I think I got something. I mean, I've done it before.
Come on, give it to me.
Come on now.
Come on.
I respect it.
It's more of you're interested and I might not be, but I don't want to necessarily hurt your feelings, and I might be hungry. So we can go have lunch. We can go get the lunch. You can keep offering me food. Why not? You want to take me to lunch? Sure. Why not? We can go eat, and I find something interesting during our lunch that makes me actually get intrigued. But right now, I'm hungry. I don't know if this is gonna go anywhere, but let me go get this meal.
That's what I'm talking about.
And also, if I could jump in on that, if I could speak to that, like, if you're a man, I think really the issue that we're kind of like glossing over is that these dudes expect a certain outcome for going to like a meal with a female, like taking you out to lunch or whatever. Like, it shouldn't matter why you're going to lunch with me. What matters is why I'm taking you to lunch.
Hey,
if I'm taking you to lunch for the experience of just going to lunch, then it shouldn't matter your motives for going to lunch with me. That's not even a thought in my mind. That shouldn't even matter.
The queen is its own reward. Come on now.
That part. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Do I say Hakeem?
It's Joaquin. Like Joaquin Phoenix.
Almost like. Okay. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's so many things to that. If a man is only taking you out to eat because he wants something, a trade-off, then it's just like, so we're going to look at that because that within itself is just like, brother, you really.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting some of your time and sharing space with you and interacting with you over a meal should be the goal. Whatever else happens after that is whatever.
Yeah, the outcome is good. The expectation is not.
I don't know that's weird though. I don't know that that's weird. I would say that is probably more human nature, and that's probably more the status quo than the opposite. Somebody who takes somebody out just to appreciate their essence and their presence is more of what we don't see on a regular basis. But the key is, that's why it's so important, and maturity is an important part of this conversation, because this is why it's so key to know yourself, know your standards, know your boundaries. And at that point, yeah, I can engage in spending time with you, but for me, this is only going to go to a certain point right here. And having a sense of that is vital in these aspects, because if I think a lot of the younger generations, they go out and they don't really have a sense of what it is. To them, it's just kicking it. So
well, Brandon, I remember quite a few, because in Los Angeles, that's where I live. Men will approach me, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of them will use entertainment as an as an intro, like, oh, you're in entertainment. I'm in the industry. And so I will ask a man flat out. I'm like, so what is it that you want, brother? Are you interested in me?
Right there at Starbucks. Okay.
Are you interested in me, or is this business? Because, but some men get turned off by that. They're like, well, dang. And I'm like, I know, brother. I just got to understand what it is.
Yeah.
And they get offended by it, because I want to know, what do you want from me? And some men see that as a turnoff. And if we're going to be clear, if I want to know, if I'm trying to understand if you want me for leisure, for personal, because you're interested, because you want something, if it's business, let's talk about it. But men are offended by that, and I don't understand why.
Okay, so let me offer a male perspective of that.
That's interesting.
I'm the kind of person that doesn't feel comfortable doing anything until I've done a certain amount of research, and I don't feel like I'm in the know until I've done that. So when a man approaches you in the line at Starbucks, he don't know you, so he doesn't know what he wants from you, because he may want nothing from you if you're not the kind of person that he hopes you are. So a lot of that is predicated upon what you might do together and what he finds out then. He's in no position to tell you at that time, if he's a smart thinking grown man, what he wants from you, because you are part of the equation and he doesn't know that yet.
But let's also be honest for a second. Most women don't want the truth from my experience. Like,
Trey.
Exactly what I know. What door I'm opening up. I know what door I'm opening up. Let's get it. Because I know right now, if I was to walk up to any one of you ladies and I don't know you, and all I saw was your face, how God graced the curves of your body, and I'm like, ooh, she bad. And if initially all I want to do is smash, if I was to come to you, be like, yo, you fine, I just want to, you gonna have a whole problem and a whole attitude
but
because of what I said.
Oh,
I
don't know, can
man.
I speak up from a woman's perspective? Can I please chime in?
Come on, Tay. Come on, Tay.
Come on, James Brown.
Oh, hold on. Let me pass you the alley. Let me pass you the alley. Tay, go ahead. There you go.
Thank you.
Hey.
Appreciate you. And we in there like swimwear.
Take it back. Go ahead.
Thank you, boo. Thank you. Okay.
Come on, LeBron.
This describes a situationship I was just in, fresh out, still smoking in the tail. That it was so fresh.
Come on.
So
smoking
me and this male started interacting, and I said, "Listen here, let me tell y'all how honest I was." This man hit me up and was like, "Yo, your hair is so beautiful. I just want to run my fingers through it." I said, "Cool." I said, let me let you know up front, that hair that you speaking about in that picture, I bought it. You still want to run your fingers through it? That's how honest I am. Right?
Come on.
So we get to talking, and he's like, yo, I want to get to know you, but I'm really not into relationships. I'm not in a position right now. You know, COVID has hurt me financially, so on and so forth. Respect. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't feel comfortable as a man jumping into a relationship when I really can't bring anything to the table because I'm struggling. Like, I got a job, I'm doing my thing, but I got just enough for me.
Get down.
So I was like, okay, cool. He's like, I'm really just looking for somebody I can establish a friendship with. If it gets a little bit further, then cool, aka friends with benefits. And I was like, all right, I'm down. Guess what I did? We went for a walk along the river. Didn't cost nothing. I knew his money was funny. You know, his credit couldn't get it. So we went and did some free. We went and did some free stuff, and he was upfront and honest. Here's my beef, and I'm very passionate about this. This ain't even the wine, okay?
Oh.
He said, he was honest with me. He said, listen, I don't want nothing. I said, hey, me either. In fact, talking about commitment makes my eczema flare up. I don't want nothing to do with it. So we started talking, getting to know each other. Fast forward a few months forward, we doing our thing. We friends with benefits. We talking about Black issues. We talking about mental health. We're talking about parenting, politics. We in there like swimwear. Okay. I'm excited. Other dudes looking at me. He started blocking. My friend. This is not what we talked about. The men who be like, you know, we had conversations. He's talking. He's like, you know, women they'll say that they're cool with it. They don't want the truth because the reality is they really want relationships. They got expectations. Woo, woo, woo. I was like, brother, you barking up the wrong tree. I don't want none of that. So fast forward, he blocking on me, and I'm like, I think there's a discrepancy in our contract. I thought we said we was just kicking it. Men want that woman who appreciates that honesty until they start to like her. Because then now, when I was like, I'm cool with being friends with benefits, I'm cool with the fact that you just want to kick it and smash. Now he want more, and I'm like,
So
for
the amount of
anybody can jump in.
Yeah, let me jump in.
For the amount of women that I personally know, hold on a second, Joaquin, that I personally know who are comfortable with your position, is far few in between for the amount of women who say, yo, this is what I want, just keep it 100. Because like I said, I'm only speaking from personal experience. I can't speak for you or nobody else on this panel, but I am very upfront, like out the gate. I know if I just want to be your friend, if I know if I want to just have sex, and I know if I want a relationship with you. Now, it might take me a couple days, as Blue said, because, hey, I need to interact with you to see what your mind is, see what different things like that is. But there have been quite a few women. I was like, yo, listen, I just want a sexual relationship. I don't want nothing else. Don't expect nothing else. Don't be delusional. I am not here for that. I'm never signing that contract, right? Everybody here know, almost everybody on this panel, except for 2 people, knows me pretty good. Tay, you, Brandon, and Joaquin have been through the tears, the heartbreak, the betrayal. You know what I mean? I literally have been through it all. That relationship just didn't start off like in the beginning. Hey, we just gonna be friends. Then we were done. When we knew we should have stayed friends, we proceeded. But since then, being in Los Angeles, my dating experience has been completely different. And it's a lot of women like, yo, just tell me. And you say it, and now they in their feelings. They was like, oh, that's rude. You don't know me well enough to be like, you just want to have sex. You don't this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, you just don't want to be honest with you.
Can I interject here? I'm gonna jump in. I think number one, there are a lot of men who say that shit because it sounds cool.
Thank you.
Who say that because it sounds cool and they're not really about that life. So it's become popularized to say, I don't want any strings attached. I just want to, smash or whatever. And a lot of dudes actually, that's a facade. They might not even know it themselves. So maybe they think that that's how they feel, but deep down inside, they really, do want female interaction in a relationship and something intimate. But they're covering up with this masculine image or, facade or whatever.
So real quick to that point. So this summer, it was somebody I had talked to a while ago, and we decided to rekindle, and we kept it straight. Okay, we're just going to be in this little side relationship. It's okay. We hang out when we can. It's cool. We know it's nothing more. You cannot call me and text me all day, every day, and think that we're just doing this little side. We hook up and do what we're doing. No, because now, of course, I'm going to want something else. Because we're putting in a lot of time here.
A lot of time,
right? Yeah. So you're investing, and you're like, oh no, but that's not what we said. Well, that's not what you acted like.
Yeah.
Right.
So make sure your words and your actions are the same.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in?
Yes. Just do it. You ain't gotta ask.
Listen, off of Ari, and it really realigns with my situation. With this same dude, he started doing that same stuff. Let me be all over your house all the time. Let me spend the night. Okay, with 2 ends. Let me, I cook by nature, so of course he coming over, he eating, he see that I cook every day, so he there, trying to be there every day.
Horny. He's 2 H's.
Okay,
right? We got 2 H's.
So he coming up, he pulling up, and I pull him to the side, right? Because again, we done had them conversations about women and their expectations. And I start saying, I said, so see, this is your problem. I said, you are lucky I don't want that from you. I said, but your behavior, calling me every day, coming over every day, video chatting me every day, trying to spend the night. If I was a woman that was actually looking for that, you are sending me all signs that say go.
Right.
I said, and that's the problem with a lot of you men. Even if you say that's what I want, because you're doing what you're doing to keep her so that you can get what you want.
Right.
You are sending unclear messages, and then will be the first one. I told you what it is from the jump. You the one that called feelings. So I told him. So I literally, we would go through week by week, and I'd be like, "Yo, you see what you're doing right now? Trying to get me to take long walks in the park and
Come
we
on,
don't need
Jill.
to do all that for you to drop off that vitamin D. We don't have
Jilly.
to do all that.
Vitamin D.
I was like, stuff like that. That's why you got these women setting expectations. I was like, so fam, it's 100% on you. I said, you lucky I don't see that potential in you. I don't see that husband. I'm not gonna get to the other H. I don't see that husband potential in you. But what you doing, you trying to sell it to me to keep me around when you have no intention of giving it to me. And he was like, oh, I didn't think of it like that. I bet you didn't.
Well, I think
look.
First of all, I commend you for putting it to him that way, because you're teaching him.
Yep.
And it's important to do that instead of just, because this is a situation where I don't necessarily think he was intentionally setting you up for something in a malicious way, but what he was doing had that effect on you, or would have that effect on someone else even differently. So the fact that you approached him with, this is what you're doing and this is the message that it sends, nobody probably told him that. And
I think that we're all grown and we shouldn't at this age teach anyone anything. And I think that's why at the very beginning, you should just be honest with the person. Are you just hungry, sir? Miss, you just hungry? What do you want from me? What do I want from you? And then set what the ground rules are.
Okay, so what we're not taking into account with that is the fact that relationships are not static. It is not a 3-year contract that's going to stay the same way for 3 years no matter what. These are people, and people change. So what I want from you today may be different than what I want from you in 10 days. And if I want something different from you in 10 days, it's not because I lied up front. It's because it's different now.
Right,
and
but
those
that's
checks
when you talk
need
about
to
it,
continue
Blue.
to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
that
when
communication.
you talk about it when you're at that point. But when you establish something in the very beginning, just like Tay said, which Tay, I'm learning that vitamin D is not the vitamin D that I get when I go outside, honey.
It ain't the sun, girl.
People be laughing. Tay, people always say vitamin D because I'm like, oh, I love my vitamin D. But child, I may need to stop saying that, okay? But I'm saying.
But why though? You can love vitamin D whether you're talking about the sun rays or you talking about the man rays.
You're right, but the men will get too excited about that. They'll get too excited. But no, with Blue, I hear what you're saying, brother. I do. And I'm not saying that it needs to be so business-like, but no, if you know what you want up front, say it. If it changes throughout, just say, you know what, Tay? I've been enjoying this time with you, and I know what I said in the beginning, but I'm starting to feel something. Like, talk about it. Like, I just don't understand why we need to put up a facade, why we need to act like what it is when it ain't.
Hey, look, LaCora, but let me speak to that. Let me speak to that. A lot of men are not, and this is something that is a problem with a lot of men in general, but a lot of men are not going to be willing to be honest about a change in their feelings because they're going to be afraid of losing the benefit. Right.
Okay, that's like a personal problem.
No, it is. It
Yeah,
is. This isn't even an excuse. This is an awareness thing. It's the same reason why men will approach you and say they want a relationship when they don't, when they really just want some sexual intercourse. Right. It's because they're trying to. They become attached to the idea of having you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just the issue with, I think, the men in general. For the most part, most men I talk to about relationships is they have these attachment issues with females, and I don't even know if it's that they like women. I think that they like being around women. They like how they feel around women. They like how you make them feel. But a lot of these dudes actually don't like you for you, which is a whole nother conversation. It's a little weird. Yeah, but I wanna address something that Trey was talking about, where he's saying that it's hard for a man to walk up and just say, "Hey, I want to have sex with you," and get a positive response from females. I wanted to interject and say, I think that's the issue with how you approach women. Absolutely. Because before I was married, I'm married now, happily married for 10 years in March. So I'm not having that issue. But when I was single, I never had that issue, having a casual interaction with a female. It's how you bring it up. I'm not just walking up to women and say, I see you in the line at Starbucks. Hey, I don't want nothing from you. I just want to smash. That's not how that conversation goes. You know what I'm saying?
The how, yeah.
It's the how.
They set up from the young man, that was very honest. It was to the point. It gave an explanation, and it was up to her to decide. Okay, brother, I hear you. I want it. It wasn't like, hey, you fine. I want to run my fingers through your hair, and I want to smash what it is. No. It was the how, and because of the how was executed properly, she was like, okay. Let's go ahead. So yeah, Trey, it's all a matter of how you do it. I'm not saying all women are going to go ahead, so don't get your hopes up too high. But I'm just saying, like, it's a matter of the how. That's all.
And I think there's this misconception that women are somehow more chaste than men. That it's like there are women who think just like us.
Absolutely.
Blow your mind.
Wait a minute. I definitely am not that naive. Like, I know that women ain't, like, if we're gonna be honest, I personally feel as though women are worse than men. They just do what they do in a better way than men do.
What do you mean worse, brother? What do you mean worse? We are worse than men. What is that?
Okay, I don't think it's worse than men, right, Trey? I'm gonna save you because I love you. So I don't think that we're worse than men. Women are now finally becoming more comfortable with our sexuality and our freedom, because for years we have been pinned with the scarlet letter that if you want to do something more than have sex with your future husband or your husband, then you are a harlot, and the Bible says God is going to strike you for not wanting to keep your legs closed. We are finally coming into the fact that it is okay to be sexual as a woman. Society be like, oh, ho, da 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 da, child, we don't care.
Yeah, and what I think, Tay, and I also think that y'all, we tend to see like, video vixens and all this stuff, but I think women are, if they're going to be promiscuous or whatever, or have multiple partners or just have casual encounters, they're just more tasteful about it. They're not just like, you know what I mean? I feel like we have this image in our head because women are just tend to be classier than us sometimes when it comes to that stuff. Like they're not all out in the street saying I'm smashing everybody. If they're having a casual fling, you'll never know. That girl you think is only into you is talking to 4 other dudes. She's just not making it hot.
Let's not even label it promiscuity, right? Like I wish I was living that life where I could just be out there getting vitamin D, but I'm just not built like that. And I don't disrespect any woman who is. We are finally coming into the fact that it is okay to be single and enjoy yourself. If you want to have sex, as long as you're safe and being honest with your partners, girl, do you.
Come on, WAP. Come on, WAP.
Women,
WAP.
we are like, think about it. Women have been handling, and men, but I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. We've been handling business on all fronts. In society, it says, yeah, all of that is okay. Just don't be sexual. We have broken from that mold. If I want to casually date, that's what I'm going to do. If I want to casually have sex, as long as I'm doing it safely and being honest, then that's what I'm going to do. And I think a lot of men operate under that fear of, oh no, women don't do that. Everybody wants a relationship. Everybody's looking for a husband right now. They're dating for a husband because of what you see on social media and just any open platforms that society has its hands so conveniently wrapped around telling you, no, this is what a woman should do. She wants to be a wife. She wants to be a mother. Some of us don't want that. Sometimes I had a rough day at work. I need you to come and knock the bottom out.
Come on, knock it out. Come on,
my bad for the kids. I need you to take the edge off.
It's a family show
about my business. And a lot of y'all come back and be like, oh, well, most women think like that. So that's how I have to approach it. And I need to be apprehensive and I have to lie and I have to tiptoe and I have to cater to that. When sometimes you could just come out and be like, look, I'm not looking for something long term. Again, the how. I'm not looking for something long term. I just want a friend that I could kick it with, have good conversations, maybe a good time physically, and we could press. You would be surprised at how many women would be like, cool, me too. My beef, though, is, again, I think Joaquin was speaking on how that was the popular thing to do for men to say that that's all I wanted. Fast forward, same dude, we having a conversation because I'm like, we friends with benefits, but the benefits ain't hitting on nothing, so I just don't see the point. And he's like, I'm gonna tell y'all, I want y'all to pay attention to what he did that he thought would work on me. So he walks up behind me, he's kissing on me, he's rubbing on my arm. I don't want to just be your friends with benefits. I'm sitting here like, we already agreed that that's who we were. He's like, I want so much more from you. And I'm just like, more like what? Mind you, he's not doing a thing besides being at my house every day, eating my food every day, using my utilities every day that says anything other than cut buddy. And he's thinking in his mind that he needs to tell me that he has feelings for me. And that's what's going to make me stay because that's what I want as a woman. That's what we all want. And I'm just thinking like, first of all, stop touching me. Second, I said what I said.
Yeah, well, I think that misconception is based on
the best way to piss a woman off is to insult her intelligence. And I think a lot of why a woman is mad about anything else is also the thing that she doesn't say, which was that insulted my intelligence. That made me feel like if you would think that I would believe that or fall for that, given all the signs that you're giving me, what do you think of my mind? Mm-hmm. You know, and you basically take me for a fool, which isn't attractive to anybody.
Right.
And they felt taken for a fool when you try to do them like that.
Yeah, yes. Or you basically you thought that you couldn't be honest with me because I wouldn't be able to take it. So now you're not giving me the chance or the choice to decide what I want to do. You're trying to sell me something.
Trying to manipulate me. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that approach and that misconception is based in patriarchy. Like men have this image in their mind of women, of what women are, and that you all want to be somebody's wife and you all want to have kids and take care of a home and do all these things. So when they're approaching women, that's this image they have in their mind. So they're like, I can't say that to her because, you know, I'm approaching this housewife. I can't say I just want to smash.
Well, one thing that Blue said, I'm sorry, Brandon, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, as per usual with humanity, we are looking at the symptoms, the results, and we're not looking at like the things that cause these symptoms. Mm-hmm. For a lot of men, I think two important words are conquest and control. And when you're not sure of yourself, when you don't know who you are, when you have no sense of purpose, when you are not mature, the easiest things to do in life are find the things that attract you and control them.
Yes, so, Brandon.
And I always speak from personal stories. I remember one of the low points of my life was when I was in the military and I was in Korea, and it was a really, really small base. So it was a lot more men than it was women. Prior to that, I grew up dealing with a lot of like sexual issues. I had been molested and yada, yada. I became a promiscuous teenager. So I was always on the hunt for the next female. So going to this base where there weren't a lot of women made it difficult for me, because who am I going to get to pay me attention now? You know what I'm saying? Conquest and control. And that's the thing, is you have to understand the mindset of somebody who doesn't know themselves very well. All they can do is go after you because it feels good. There's attraction there. There's arousal there. That's what they're really seeking, the arousal more than it is you. Like Joaquin said, that's beautiful. And then when they get you, there's that high that comes off of attaining what you were charging after. And none of that has anything to do with wisdom or awareness. It has nothing to do with intentionality or purpose. I have no idea what I want to do with you after I've had you. I just know I want to have you. And so while I understand, I know it's not the popular opinion, this is the reason why God tells us not to be having sex outside of marriage. Again, I know that's not popular. I'm not trying to condemn nobody for their lifestyle, but you avoid a lot of these issues when you take your time, when you're intentional with the people that you spend your time with, when you get to know them and you really get to see how they operate. Do their words match up? Because the dude that you were talking to, Tay, he said, I just want to get to know you. But then he said, I don't want anything. So already, like, his word ain't matching up. So it's things like that we got to look for and be willing to invest more time in the intellectual and the spiritual and the connection, and invest less time in the physical, because that's what happens. When you don't know your spiritual purpose, when you have no focus, then the physical will come in real quick, because often the physical feels like it's love, or the physical feels like it's something good, and the physical will confuse you. By then it's too late.
Yeah.
But
Brandon, I was going to say, can I just speak on?
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Trey. I wrote some notes here because, Brandon, you spoke to God, and then earlier Blue mentioned some things. For me, Trey, you said most women. For me, going back to the word, because I am a Christian, study to show thyself approved. Most of the time, these men don't study what it is that you are trying to conquer, the conquest. And if you put time in to see, I want this woman, she's fine, but let me see what she's about. If she's the type of woman that will be open to it or not, you have to study this woman to see what it is you want before you open up that mouth of yours.
Absolutely.
And decide how you're going to approach her. Blue mentioned something about women, the men will try to talk to us as if we're stupid, like we just don't get it. And sometimes I'm wondering, is it foolish? Do they think that we are foolish, or is it just worth? For me, this is about, are you worth my crown? Now, Tay made it very clear as to what it is she wanted. He put in time to only be put in a category for a benefit. And then with the benefit, it wasn't even a benefit. So, sir, you are not even worth my crown. You haven't leveled up. You haven't stepped up. You haven't done anything to show thyself approved, to say that you want me to put you on this different level. Thank you, brother.
LaCora.
Okay, say that.
Hold on, man. This is the banana nut bread moment. I need to hold on.
Bread moment. What's that?
No, but listen, I'm with her 100% because we had that conversation, and I was like, "Yo, you are not playing your position at all. So what we gonna do is relieve you of duty. That's a little something we do in the military when it's not for you, right?" And I sent him on his merry way. He's hit me up since then, so on and so forth. And it all comes down to intention. Not everybody is looking for that. Oh, I want to get to know a person. Sometimes you do just want that physical satisfaction. I'm a very spiritual being, not religious by nature, but I am very spiritual. And there are certain times where it's just like, listen, this is what it is and this is what it ain't. And when we cross that line to a point where now you're becoming more work than anything, we're done here. So he wasn't worth the crown. He wasn't worth the footstool. He wasn't worth the floor. And I sent him on his way. The scepter, nothing. No court jester hat. He was out of there.
So look, before we move on to the next H, because I don't want to stay on this H too long. Trey,
all the H's kind of been blurred in together. Why?
Yep.
So we know. I
feel you.
One H right now.
I just want to say, Mr. Man, Tay's friend without benefits anymore. If you're watching, don't out yourself in the comments. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who you are.
Don't do that.
I don't know who you are right now. Don't comment. Don't angry comment, because now we gonna all know who you are. So I'm gonna just help you out.
He better not angry comment. I'm gonna clock that tea like Lipton. He better sit back.
I already know it. She had 4 glasses of wine. So yeah, don't
business out.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But something that Tay said though is something that I think a lot of times gets overlooked. She stated that in the beginning, there was the word. Okay, no. She stated that they had decided that it was going to be a friends with benefit situation, right? In the beginning, they both agreed to that. Then he got the benefit and realized it was more than he thought it was going to be.
Come on, Tay.
Unfortunately, in a lot of situations, and I've had over the last week and a half,
baby hair. He stroked a little too much.
Too much. Come on.
He stroked
to a lot of men, and it's like, honest, yo, your feelings change. You may have had no intention on it being anything other than the physical, and then that changed. I can give you a personal experience that Blue is very well aware of. I have a woman in my life. I made it clear out the gate. It was simply one thing, and it was agreed upon. Now, she be talking all crazy to me. I be confused. I be like, what are you doing? You don't have this package. I was very clear. And we've had multiple conversations to let you know that I was just in it for this reason. However, like Tay, I myself didn't really get the benefit of the benefit. The benefit I was looking for was not there, except this package came with a no return to sender, no exchanges or substitution. So, we have to be aware that things do change. Like, I've been in situations where my feelings for a woman changed afterwards, because as the benefit came, I got to know and see who she really was. But I was able and mature enough to be able to recognize that and have a grown-up conversation. Like, y'all know me, I talk a lot of trash. Sometimes I embellish on some of my stories to give y'all the greatest effect. But at the end of the day, I'm a sucker for love. I'm a romance relationship dude. I don't like being single. Like, single Trey is a whole problem. And prior to this show, I was reminded that sometimes single Trey is a whole problem. But part of this conversation is acknowledging, and I think you all really did nail it within the first 10 minutes. It's all about communication. We can give all the examples that we want. You can be hungry. Guess what? I like to cook, right? I love to cook. Not bad at it. I know for a fact, and Mr. James can attest, Blue can cook his tail off over there. Like, he be making 7-hour meals in 30 minutes. That boy good. You know what I mean? So,
master.
Selfish comment. But I literally have everything I need around me. So the person that, if I want a significant other, I'm coming to you because I want you. I'm not coming to you because I need you. I don't need you to fulfill anything. The one thing George and Tawana made sure with both of her boys, that we were extremely self-sufficient. I respect and love women to no end. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, LaCora, if you had a problem, you can call me. And you and I have had conversations. You need anything, you can call me. Tay, I don't know Ari as well, but Ari, if you ever had an issue, I'm telling you now, the Men of Filter Free got your back. That's just how we move. You need a shoulder to cry on, we there. You hungry and you in the LA area, yo, we there.
Don't come to my
topic of the Filter Free show. We might just be looking for topics, but that's okay.
You know? I can't
don't
feed
worry
you.
about that.
Don't come to me for the food part. Well, my wife, my wife prepares an amazing
do not go to WA.
No, don't go to WA for the food part.
You don't want me to cook you anything.
WA's gonna bring you to my house anyway.
Come to me for some advice or a ride to Bluetooth's house.
That's all he's gonna give you.
All right, that's what I got you on.
But I've been blessed, and I think healthy people who are mature enough to handle any of the H's are at a point in their life where they understand who they are and what they need. Because a lot of the extra that I see when we have these conversations boils down to people saying, I want, but they don't really realize what it is that they need. They don't realize the pieces that are missing spiritually or like, to make them whole. That's missing. You know what I mean? So if you hungry, I'll feed you.
Can we address the homeless H right now? Can we segue into that?
Yeah.
Since that's
yeah.
But the H in this instance, right? The H is dudes who are getting with women just to have somewhere to stay, right? Is that what?
Wow. And eat up all your baby fruit snacks.
Like, so why are you allowing him to eat up all your baby fruit snacks?
And moving so quick, they blind you with the moving. You don't even know that they really moving in.
Okay,
they blind you. What day you said he came every night for dinner, ain't it? He blind
every night. Every night. Let me tell you, I'm putting a little
allow him to come every night.
I'm putting a little more business out there, right?
He gonna be mad.
Somebody pulled up on the crib because he was feeling the kid, and he said, "Yeah, he answered your door." I said, "When?" He was like, "Yeah, he answered the door." So I thought I'd step off because I thought you had a dude. I was like, "What?"
Whoa.
What?
Answer the door.
Whoa.
To your house?
Answering my door like you pay bills?
That's incredible.
What was it?
Does this happen the opposite, like in reverse? Are there females that just get with dudes so they can have a place to stay? Like, I feel like this is more of a man problem.
I feel like it's more men that do that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a man thing.
One thing we got to know about women is that women do tend to mature faster than men do. And so what you see with a lot of women, even women who like don't all have it together, they tend to navigate towards stability faster than we do. So they're not necessarily looking for meals. They're not necessarily looking for a place to stay. They usually already got that.
Yeah, they do. And on top of that, like they'll make it work.
Right.
They'll make it work. They're not going to be dependent upon someone. Most Black women have heard from their Black mothers, don't depend on anybody. You know what I mean? And they're because they know that if I ask brother so-and-so, oh, brother Bluetooth, can I stay with you? Then he want to hit you up like the old boy did with Jada and set it off. Well, what you gonna do for me?
Absolutely.
You know?
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Yo,
What's the saying? Ain't nothing free.
Right, right. So no, I mean, I don't. Again, that's not part of my world. I'm not. Never have I had a man try to come over to my house. Like I just what? Yeah. And you eat up my snacks? No, I just
okay. Listen, after y'all move on, I got another story. Because my dating life is trash.
Say, let me ask you a question. Ask a question before you get into your horrible dating life. At what point do you take credit allowing this dude to come have dinner every night or to be in there eating your baby fruit snacks? Like, because like I'm stingy.
He need the fruit roll up out of here.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I have no problem cooking for you, but if it is something that I bought specifically for me, and you touch it, it's only gonna happen one time.
Ooh. So do I get to answer? Do I get to answer?
Yeah, Come on. Answer. I'm just saying.
Okay, so I'm 100% with Trey. Know me. Like I said, we almost 2 decades into this family friendship thing. Me and Trey. I have a naturally nurturing personality. So if Blue came to the house, if LaCora came to the house, if Brandon came to the house, what's mine is yours. Period. Mm-hmm. It's Monday through Friday, including Saturday and Sunday too, if you want to swing by. I have slowly had to learn that being that way sends a message. Right. While it may be 100% natural for me, and me talking about eating up the baby fruit snacks is a joke. But for me, where it's 100% natural to share whatever I have learned that though that's comfortable for me and it doesn't bother me at all, it sends a message. And that's something I have to take accountability for. And I did with said individual to where I got to a point where I was like, yo, you coming over here every night, you eating my food. And though I don't mind, I think that it's sending you a message that I don't want to be sent. I made sure to have plenty of adult conversations with said individual because I wanted my intentions to remain clear. As an adult, I've been working on my actions and my communication. So I took responsibility for that. It wasn't I'm doing this so I could keep a man. That's just how I am. I've been like that since I was young. I like taking care of people. It makes me feel good. Not because I need it, but it's just like, yo, that's my spirit. That's my energy. That's the frequency I vibrate on. Family, love, sharing, communication. That's me. I've had to learn that that's not for everybody. Answer your question. Trey.
Yeah, I think a lot of women don't necessarily take accountability for it, but it is very much us as well for allowing the third H to even be a thing. Because it's like you're kicking it with someone, you're vibing with them. They want to come over. So one night turns into, okay, now he's here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you're liking the company, you're enjoying the company, and then it turns into, he pulled out. Exactly, how did we get here? But then you're just here, and now all of a sudden he got a drawer.
Five, like there was.
Okay, yeah.
Can we also?
But it happens. Okay.
Can we also talk about how I feel like, and this is something that's probably not something that's addressed or something that's just occurring to me right now, but how women are kind of raised to bring value to a household. So they're raised to come into a home and improve a home. Whereas a lot of men in this generation that I know of, and this isn't even me like talking down on men, but I know personally, I wasn't given any skills to help like raise my household. Like I wasn't being trained. When I was a little kid, I was given G.I. Joes, action figures, right? Like these toy guns, stuff like that, right? And my female counterparts were being given children to practice raising and easy bake ovens to practice cooking, being prepared to be of value to a household in a specific way. So I kind of feel like women aren't going to be looked at in that light where they're coming in like, oh, let me just stay with you and mooch off you, because any woman being added to your household is usually an asset as opposed to a liability. Whereas a lot of these dudes who are doing it on the opposite end, coming into your home, are not bringing anything into your home. If a man came into your home and started fixing things and cleaning and started preparing meals, you probably would look at him a little bit differently than if he was just there eating up the kids' snacks and having sex and watching TV.
Right, like a Tyler Perry movie. Right.
Say that one more time for the people in the back, Mr. Joaquin. Thank you so much.
But if we're gonna be honest, it ain't just a Tyler Perry movie, because you're looking at 5 men right here that'll do that for you. Okay, you looking at living, breathing perfection.
But
don't let Trey lie to you.
How many though?
About me. I'm not cooking nothing. I'm not fixing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I built buildings. I was a carpentry and masonry specialist in the Army. I built entire buildings, and I'm not fixing nothing. All right. Now, will I hire someone to fix it? Absolutely.
Right.
But you get it done, though, right?
I'll get it done.
Whether physically or not, you get it done.
Right.
I think for a lot of men, right?
Let me touch on.
For a lot of men are selfish and not self-aware. So everything they want is for somebody they don't know. Right?
Repeat that.
So
what was that last line?
I'm saying that a lot of men who are selfish are also self-unaware. So everything that they want is for somebody that they don't know. Right? So I want these things because society says this is what men want.
Absolutely.
So of course I want it. Right? Yeah. But they don't really know themselves. I think self-awareness is something that is very lacking in the male community right now, specifically. The stories that I hear are so unrelatable to me. And so he said, what? Like how? Like,
what?
I don't understand so many stories that I get from women, because I'm like, he didn't know enough about himself to do this. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But it does make sense within the context of self-unawareness. So you don't know who you are. So to be honest about yourself is too much for you to be even asked to do, because you don't know what you want. You don't know what this leads to. You don't know of 2 options what best suits me, because you don't know yourself.
Yes. Like, hit that Oregon key, Blue. Hit that Oregon key for yourself, Blue. Yes.
Come on.
You know what?
So I'm going to say something, right? Can I say something real quick, Trey? And then I'll shut up. So
don't shut up.